Hey there, chemists. It's Dr. O'Malley here, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the chemistry found in an episode of a TV show called Heroes. Heroes was an NBC show. It's about people that developed extraordinary abilities, and there is a scene in the first episode of season 3 in which the main character, his name is actually Hiro, Hiro. He breaks into a vault that his late father, left, and he discovers a piece of paper with a chemical formula on it. Hiro's abilities are that he can stop time and teleport, and we're going to see a little bit of that in the clip. That's not the chemistry part, it's on the piece of paper, but I'll show it anyway. And then that piece of paper is actually stolen by another character who has other abilities. So I'll show the whole clip, and then we'll take a look at it. It's about 3 minutes, and then I'm going to talk a lot about what we see on that piece of paper. So let's take a look at the clip.
なんて言ってたじゃん。
運命なのさ。再生せよ。
金庫を開けてはならないと言ったはずだ。この化学式の半分を手に入れるためなら手段を選ばない者たちがいる。
化学式。
この者たちが成功すれば一つだけしか望みがない。純粋な血を持つ選ばれし者。暗闇から防御する光。理解できるか？
わかりません。
この化学式の半分を命をかけて守るんだ。世界の運命はこれにかかっている。息子よ、成功を祈る。
お前本当に。
もっと科学の授業しっかり聞いとけばよかった。
How are you doing this? Are you a speedster too?
Speedster? No, I'm Hiro Nakamura. I stopped time.
I got news. You don't stop it completely, or we're not having this conversation.
So, you move fast?
Not fast. I move really fast.
Well, you stole something from me.
You mean this whole time-stopping thing? How does it work exactly? I mean, if you chase me to Bangkok, will time stay frozen here in Tokyo?
I don't know.
Something to think about when you get back on your feet.
But I am on my feet.
Gotta go.
Okay, so that was the scene. And just to recap what we saw, the character Hiro broke into a vault. He's entrusted with this formula from his late father, and it shows various organic chemical compounds on it. They seem to be represented as line structures. But if you take a closer look at the piece of paper, there are actually many known or virtually identical to some known compounds. There's another episode which shows the entirety of the piece of paper. They actually uncovered the other half of it, and you can see what the whole thing looks like shown here. And there's many mathematical formulas at the top that I frankly don't recognize, but if you work your way around the paper, you come across some recognizable molecules. Right where this video box is actually the molecule caffeine. There it is, right above me. That is a well-known molecule. To my right, you should see the precursor to what's called Tamiflu. That's an antiviral used to treat influenza. Working around this piece of paper, we get over there on the right-hand side, that's adrenaline, naturally occurring compound made in the body. And then the thing that takes up most of the paper is this really beastly molecule in the middle with all these ring structures. This is a well-known toxin called MyoToxin. And I'll talk a lot about what this molecule does. It is not exactly the same as the structure. There's some poetic drawing in the upper right there where there's not a sodium sulfate, but what looks like a covalently bonded sodium atom. And we all know that sodium doesn't make those kinds of covalent bonds, but maybe that's what gives the people in the show their superpowers. So let's just go through those molecules. Caffeine is a naturally occurring stimulant found in coffee and other places. Plants make it as an insecticide. We get it from plants, and we can actually extract it by running coffee through supercritical CO2, and that extracts caffeine out of it. That's the main way we get caffeine. It's an alkaloid. That means it's a naturally occurring amine, and it mimics adenosine, which increases levels of dopamine in the body. That's why it works as a stimulant. So good choice of a molecule for superpowers like the speedster girl. Probably on a lot of caffeine when you think about that. The next molecule that I'll mention is adrenaline. That's a naturally occurring neurotransmitter. It's made in the adrenal glands, which sit right on top of your kidneys. It's released when stressors stimulate the hypothalamus, which control much of the peripheral system. And it raises your heart rate, it increases respiration, it slows digestion, and it allows your muscles to contract. So another good choice of a well-known molecule that would be related to potentially people having super abilities. The Tamiflu molecule, what was on the paper, was actually a precursor, as far as I could tell, to a known synthesis of the Tamiflu molecule. Tamiflu is also called oseltamivir, which is an antiviral drug that slows the spread of influenza, and that is what I learned how antivirals work primarily. They don't work like antibiotics, which actually destroy the target, but this slows the growth of a virus. I also learned that Tamiflu is an example of what's called a pro-drug, and that terminology means it's inactive in its form outside the body, but once it's in vivo, it becomes metabolized as an active drug. The last one, the one that took up the most space, is the MyoToxin molecule. This is a naturally occurring toxic molecule. It consists of 32 fused rings. It's found in this protista, and it stimulates calcium ion channels and exhibits the highest toxicity of any non-protein biomolecule. So a lot of naturally occurring molecules are toxic, but they are often proteins. This one happens to not be a protein, yet it's very, very large, and it is the most toxic of those non-protein biomolecules. So that's just a rundown of the things that we saw on the piece of paper. That's this special formula from the Heroes episode. I hope you enjoyed watching and learned a little bit about some of those compounds, and thanks for watching.